I just want to warm up the audience who live in the 21st century and who cannot relate to even the living father and mother. How can they go and relate to grandfather and great-great-grandfather? That's why a few years ago, when I was introducing this Mahalaya ancestor ritual, I came up with this scientific terminology for people to understand this particular ritual called Tarpanam, where you feed the ancestors. And the term is soul genetics. Just as biogenetics, you inherit biological genes from your father, from your mother, and also from your great-grandfather, great-grandma. Biogenetics is well understood, but not soul genetics. Soul genetics is very important. So you inherit, just as you inherit biological genes, you inherit prosperity or poverty, health or disease, a good relationship or bad relationship. Everything is inherited. From where? From the soul genes of your ancestors. Let's take the example of Bill Gates. Why he got to become the richest man of the world for 16 times? Because of the soul genes which he inherited. And why somebody is very poor, living in a slum? Again, soul genetics. They inherited very bad soul genes. So that is the right context from which we can understand the importance of ancestors, who are responsible. It's more complicated. I don't have the time to do that. Probably, if I'm inspired, I will do something down the road. So for now, it's enough that this soul genetics explains why Bill Gates, why a secretarial assistant in Microsoft, or even lower, no jobs, no education, all stood due to soul genes. Now to answer her question, why is this time so important? Because the yogis of India found out that they're all the time concerned about the welfare of humanity. So they want to fix their problems, their poverty or disease or other problems. So they found this way and of fixing the ancestral genes. So they wanted to catch the ancestors and then do something with them, but they are not in physical body. So we have to catch them at a certain time. And what is the best time? They found this is the time that it was ordained that these guys, both on the mother's side and the father's side, they descend on the earth plane because of problems they are experiencing. And sometimes, they are very good, and most of the time they are not very good. So they come here seeking the help of the people, or the descendants, to help them so that they can help you. So, I have elsewhere explain the concept. That's why I want you to listen to all my videos. Don't think this is an old video, I don't know how to watch it. See my old videos. I've been talking about it for long periods of time. But anyway, this is the time they are coming and knocking at your door. And if you miss, they are in bad shape and you are in bad shape. That is the reason why these 15 days will be the time period you should not miss. You can fix it. And how do you fix it? And that is this ritual called Tarpanam offering, the food offering to the to the ancestors who are visiting you, who are invisible, you cannot see. Okay, and what is special about our organization, particularly my organization, in doing this as opposed to others? We use people who can, who have the ability to see them. So the one time that I get calls from the head priest is, please protect me. I'm going to be doing this ritual because there are so many spirits coming in. I can't manage. Give me the courage and perseverance to talk to them. There are too many of them. So I will tell, protect me. So I will tell, I will protect you. Go ahead and do it. I stop here, and then she has more questions, then I will answer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pillai. So one of the questions we've been talking about this particular year is the difference between the exalted ancestors and the regular ancestors. There's something called Pitrus. Can you tell us a little bit more about them? Why are they different? And what kind of benefits do we get from them in particular?
You know, the difference is like the example I gave, the ancestors of Bill Gates are good ancestors in the sense that they are more intelligent, they are more closer to God, and it is their blessings which Bill Gates and Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, these people inherited. Who are the regular ancestors? Those are Joe Blows, okay, who died. So who, you know, and then they, because their souls are still carrying on this idea of poverty, this idea of disease. So they have to get rid of it. How can they get rid of it? They cannot get rid of it without your help, because you are connected to them. And then the earth plane, because of its magnetic gravity that it has a special ability to affect even the gods. Again, it's I have spent lifetimes on this subject, so I can't explain it to you fully well, but just take it for granted. You can, the regular people, the regular ancestors, or ordinary people who lived very poorly, and then they are also living poorly there. And so they need help, and you need help, and this works. You have another question?
Yes, thank you. So the other question is, what's the difference? You've told us all for many years to be doing Tarpanam at home on our own. So what is the significance between what we do at home versus what the priest you just mentioned in India doing it on our behalf? Should we be doing both? Is one more important than the other?
You know, I have been involved in modernizing all these ancient practices, rituals, and ceremonies to suit our own needs and constraints that we have living in the 21st century. The way it works is we use substances like the tulsi plant, tulsi leaves, And Tulsi leaf, if you go and do research on Tulsi, and she was a woman that before she became a plant with great emotions. And emotions connect you to gods. Emotions are very important because that belongs to the soul rather than the intellect. And then we use black sesame seeds. They all have atomic power. And then we use 𝗣𝗶𝗹𝗶 grass, which is another plant, a grass, and that through which you can connect with the divine beings and the disembodied beings. So all these and rice, grain. So what I told people, just grind them all up and then use them and put it in your bathroom, and they do daily tarpanam. Well, that will work, definitely. There's no doubt about it. But then it has to be done properly with priests who know how to do it. And that you can do it, you're all over the world. So this is an occasion where we have organized that at least once a year, we gather as many priests as possible who are well trained and in a different state than my state, because they are the specialists, and they will do it properly, and they can see these people also. They have the ability to do that. And not many people, 99% of the people are unable to see who is coming and who is getting out, who is nasty and who is nice, all these things. And they won't be able to know what's really happening. So they will be able to satisfy them by feeding them. And as a result of being taken care of, I'm taking care of on behalf of, say, John or Linda or someone. And that's what the priest will do. They will represent you, yeah, to the ancestors. That is what is happening in this ritual. And then, they will decorate it, and then they will invite, and then they feed. And all these things I have not introduced because it's very difficult to do. Okay, I thought at least do the minimum, like just put all these things ground up and then offer.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So basically, we should leave to the experts to do the heavy lifting, and we can do at home on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Offerings.
Yeah.
Is it true that if you do not gain the blessings of your ancestors and the exalted ancestors, that anything you have in this life, even if it's good that comes to you, you might not be able to enjoy it or keep it for very long because it may go away if we don't have these blessings from these ancestors?
See, the blessings from the ancestor doesn't explain how the dynamics works. The dynamics works if you understand what is the problem with us and what's the problem with the ancestors. If they are already good ancestors, like Bill Gates' ancestors, as to give you an example, then there is no problem. They are in an elevated place. They don't even need Bill Gates' help. They have dumped the blessings on him. That's not the case with 99.999% of the people. So by blessings, we mean the thought patterns they have. If they have been influenced by overwhelming scarcity consciousness, that will give scarcity to us. So if I am going to change my consciousness, for instance, my ancestors have scarcity consciousness, and I am that reflects on me. So what I am going to do is through this Tarpanam, I can alter my scarcity consciousness. And by doing that, they will be able to alter theirs. And as soon as their consciousness is altered, they can very quickly move to, because they don't have the body, they can understand it better because they are only soul vibrations. They will quickly move to a higher place, and from the higher place, they will pump this prosperity consciousness onto you because you are connected by the same soul family. This is the dynamics of it, how it works. I'm glad that I was not going to do this program. She was forcing me to do that. That's why I'm here. But I'm happy now. Maybe even thank her for forcing me to do this. These thoughts came to me only. I was up all night. I did not wink an eye, which is not unusual for me, but I had great downloads from my ancestors, maybe. And so this is the dynamics. This is the mechanics of action of what happens to you. So it is completely scientific. I can give a more hardcore scientific interpretation of it, but it is only for people who have more time to do that, because I am at a point, if somebody comes with me with the big books like this, the 2,000 pages, I said, please, I'm not the guy. Give me something very simple. Sesame seeds, some leaves of tulsi, and then some darba grass and rice grain. And that is going to fix my poverty consciousness. I want that. I like that. Because that's technology, a great technology. I 100% believe in it. That's it.
We're very grateful for your simplicity of the techniques that you've passed on to us. Dr. Pillai, so there's another theory that during this time of Mahalaya and when we're worshiping ancestors, the Pitrus, the exalted ancestors themselves, are going and worshiping on the earth, and that for us to assimilate what they've given, those blessings they've attained for those ones who are important that you mentioned, that we have to do this Tarpanam. Is that true? Where the ancestors are coming to earth, going to temples, gaining even more power, and then we get their energy through Tarpanam?
Yeah, that's true. Although the earth plane is considered a dense plane with dense vibrations, it is a very emotional plane. The emotions are very strong because of this body we have. And gods even come here and take their own abodes in temples because this is a plane where they can relate to emotions. And emotions are more powerful, more intelligent because they are intuitive. And gods like this plane, and to recharge themselves, that's why they have built the temples. And all these saints who have been able to evolve and then become stars, they themselves come here to worship here. So earth plane is not all that bad, but we have to properly understand the nature of the earth plane. So they come here. Yes, it's true that the ancestors come here to worship in the places here where there is a lot of magnetic energy, particularly areas where there is water sources and so forth. And then they also visit you, visit the descendants, and then ask them for help. So it's like it's a mutual help. Just like the fire ritual, we do fire rituals to mutually help the gods as well as us. The same technology.
That's fascinating. Thank you. Another theory is that we aren't even able to worship God or find a guru, find a Satguru without the blessings of the Pitrus, without the exalted ancestors. Is that true?
First of all, there are not many Sadgurus anywhere in the world now. So it's better to stay away from most of them. Understand things scientifically, because science is really the way to evaluate whatever we are doing is working or not. Just like coronavirus, we have to go get tested. Otherwise, how do we know whether we have virus or not? That's science. But unfortunately, we have not been able to perfect the testing yet. But testing is still going on. Something is better than nothing. And so you have to understand the dynamics. Okay. You change your mindset, they change their mindset, and that's what's happening. Okay. So that's that's I think I have said more than what you need.
I have one last question, Dr. Pillai. This one we get all the time. It is, you're talking about soul genetics, and we're talking about our current lifetime's ancestors. But if it's a soul, then we have multiple lifetimes and multiple lineages of ancestors. Are we now responsible or having influence from all the ancestors of all of our lifetimes?
Some of them may have graduated, so they don't have to come here. Very few though, but most of them are still in different levels of the space. There are they just, when they leave their body, they go through different stages to get to this galaxy where there are it's a galaxy of Pitrus, good ancestors. They have to eventually get there, and that's millions and millions of miles away, or billions of miles away. So some of them, not all of them come. Some of them make here. Okay. And then, and they all know your lineage, their lineage, and then they communicate with them, and then since we cannot see them with our naked eyes, we have to do this anyway, and so ideally, if you want to do that, you have to do it one-on-one with a person who can. I'll give you. There is a Supreme Court judge. He was very skeptical that if the priest was talking to the spirit or not. So, and it was my priest I sent to him. So he asked the question, where is the proof that you are talking to my, ancestor? I'm talking to your ancestor now, he said. Can you give me a proof? Yes. So he is saying that he used to smoke 25 cigarettes a day. Is that true? Yes. And 8 eggs. He used to eat exactly 8 eggs. Yes. So what does he want? He wants 8 eggs and 25 cigarettes. So he was, there are people who can do that, but it's very difficult. People have to be really at a high level. This is the chief priest that I use. And he is the one who always calls me once a year to get my blessings to protect him so that he can handle these spirits. So right now we can't do that, so we just do it in the bathroom, just giving that. That will work. Only thing is you do not know who comes and who leaves. Okay?
Yes. But we do have all the lifetimes, though, of ancestors, not just this lifetime, correct?
You have millions and millions and millions of lifetimes.
Okay.
And billions of ancestors.
Sounds like a really important time for us.
And also you should not, where they are, you cannot track them. Whoever comes, we work with them, that's all.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Pillai. I know you want to go now. We very much appreciate your time.
Yeah. Okay.